Receiving a new truth is like adding a new sense. The secret of all those who make discoveries is that they regard nothing as impossible. A fact acquires its true and full value only through the idea which is developed from it. The more fodder, the more flesh. The more flesh, the more manure. The more manure, the more grain. We may fairly judge of the commercial prosperity of a country from the amount of sulfuric acid it consumes. The loveliest theories are being overthrown by these damned experiments. It's no fun being a chemist anymore. The progress of mankind is due exclusively to the progress of natural sciences, not to morals, religion, or philosophy. From one sublime genius Newton more light has proceeded than the labor of 1,000 years preceding had been able to produce. In this apparatus is nothing new but its simplicity and thorough trustworthiness. On his revolutionary method of organic analysis. Chocolate is a perfect food, as wholesome as it is delicious, a beneficent restorer of exhausted power. It is the best friend of those engaged in literary pursuits. Chemistry, in its application to animals and vegetables, endeavors jointly with physiology to enlighten us respecting the mysterious processes and sources of organic life. If it is impossible to judge merit and guilt in the field of natural science, then it is not possible in any field, and historical research becomes an idle, empty activity. Observation is like a piece of glass, which, as a mirror, must be very smooth, and must be very carefully polished, in order that it may reflect the image pure and undistorted. If you want to become a chemist, you will have to ruin your health. If you don't ruin your health studying, you won't accomplish anything these days in chemistry. By the deficiency or absence of one necessary constituent, all the others being present, the soil is rendered barren for all those crops to the life of which that one constituent is indispensable. But it must not be forgotten that glass and porcelain were manufactured, stuffs dyed and metals separated from their ores by mere empirical processes of art, and without the guidance of correct scientific principles. A manure containing several ingredients acts in this wise. The effect of all of them in the soil accommodates itself to that one among them which, in comparison to the wants of the plant, is present in the smallest quantity. A time will come when fields will be manured with a solution of glass silicate of potash, with the ashes of burnt straw, and with the salts of phosphoric acid prepared in chemical manufactories, exactly as at present medicines are given for fever and goitre. I have spent some months in England, have seen an awful lot and learned little. England is not a land of science. There is only a widely practiced dilettantism. The chemists are ashamed to call themselves chemists because the pharmacists, who are despised, have assumed this name. Only about 70 years ago was chemistry, like a grain of seed from a ripe fruit, separated from the other physical sciences. With Black, Cavendish, and Priestley, its new era began. Medicine, pharmacy, and the useful arts had prepared the soil upon which this seed was to germinate and to flourish. I have learnt that all our theories are not truth itself, but resting places or stages on the way to the conquest of truth, and that we must be contented to have obtained for the strivers after truth such a resting place, which, if it is on a mountain, permits us to view the provinces already won and those still to be conquered. The finest imagination in the world could not have conceived of a better idea than the philosopher's stone to inspire the minds and faculties of men. Without it, chemistry would not be what it is today. In order to discover that no such thing as the philosopher's stone existed, it was necessary to ransack and analyze every substance known on earth. And in precisely this lay its miraculous influence. Without an acquaintance with chemistry, the statesman must remain a stranger to the true vital interests of the state, to the means of its organic development and improvement. The highest economic or material interests of a country, the increased and more profitable production of food for man and animals, are most closely linked with the advancement and diffusion of the natural sciences, especially of chemistry. Since the discovery of oxygen, the civilized world has undergone a revolution in manners and customs. The knowledge of the composition of the atmosphere, of the solid crust of the earth, of water, and of their influence upon the life of plants and animals was linked to that discovery. The successful pursuit of innumerable trades and manufactures, the profitable separation of metals from their ores, also stand in the closest connection therewith. I would establish the conviction that chemistry, as an independent science, offers one of the most powerful means towards the attainment of a higher mental cultivation, that the study of chemistry is profitable, not only inasmuch as it promotes the material interests of mankind, but also because it furnishes us with insight into those wonders of creation which immediately surround us, and with which our existence, life, and development are most closely connected.